Okay, so it's your first day fingerboarding, and perhaps you're a bit unsure about what to try first. So I'm going to give you three things that you can try on your first day of fingerboarding that are going to maybe help your progression, but feel free to just ignore them. Do what you want to do and have fun, because I think that's what this hobby is also about. But if you're looking for three things, kind of a good place to start, it sounds a bit obvious or maybe even a bit boring. I'd just practice rolling back and forth a little bit. Get a feel for how the wheels feel on the surface that you're fingerboarding on, get a feel for how the bushings feel when you turn on your trucks, and just get a feel for the overall setup, because you're going to be rolling into tricks, you're going to be rolling out of tricks. Well, that's a good thing to get a foundation of, right? You want to make sure that that rolling part is smooth and you're confident with it. And the second thing I think you could try is power slides and reverts. This is where the board skids along the ground. So you can either skid along the ground and continue facing the same way you were going. It's called a power slide. Or you can kind of skid around 180 and end up facing the other way, if that makes sense. You do like a 180 skid on the board, and that's called a revert. So kind of have a bit of a play around with that. It can add then a fun element of realism to your fingerboard hobby if you do a revert before a fakie trick, or you kind of power slide after landing that trick. Because if you watch pro skate videos, you know, when they do a trick down a 15 flight of stairs handrail, there's normally like a fence or some sort of obstacle, or like the road in the way, and they have to power slide to kind of stop quickly. It's a kind of a useful way of stopping on a real skateboard, and something you can try to bring as a fun element into your miniature skateboard hobby. Depending on what your wheels are, you might have plastic wheels, you might have urethane wheels. They might squeak if they're urethane, and also they kind of react differently on different surfaces. So to kind of have a play around with that, because, you know, as you progress, let's say you start learning, you know, down the line, you start landing kick flips. You can kind of do a kick flip and then quickly revert it round for, like, in my opinion, quite a stylish kick flip 180. So having reverts and power slides down is kind of a good base, I think, to have, and something that's just fun overall to do, I think. The third and final thing I think you should try on that first day is rolling off of things. Now, it could be an obstacle if you've got an obstacle already. It could also, I think most people use when starting out, it's just like a book laid down flat, and have a go at rolling off that and landing it kind of smoothly. What you'll probably find on your first couple of goes is you might find the board just kind of, the nose hits the ground straight away and it doesn't look as smooth as you were hoping it would look. Well, to get around that, put your middle finger on the tail of the board and just apply a tiny bit of pressure as you roll off. Your goal is that you're trying to keep that board horizontal as the front wheels come off the end. And you might find it's easier going a bit faster too. So have a play around with that, because once you've got that down, I think that's a good basis before you start trying to ollie off of things and things like that. It kind of gives you a bit of an understanding about the physics behind the board. Something that, you know, I do real life on a skateboard. You know, if I'm on a ledge, there's a few different ways you can do it. You can apply pressure to the tail just to keep your board horizontal to roll off it smoothly. You can also put your front foot on the nose and not actually pop the nose, but just a little bit of pressure, and you'll find that's another kind of smooth way, fun way as well to kind of roll off of things. So have a bit of a play around with that. And the kind of secret extra tip that I just want to throw in at the end is just kind of have fun fidgeting and playing around with the fingerboard, right? Like, it's a fun hobby. Don't take it all too seriously, and kind of enjoy yourself, and yeah, have fun. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have a great first day fingerboarding. Hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed already, and I'll catch you in the next video. All right, see ya.